Dribbling is one of the most fundamental skills used in basketball that must be learned. During a basketball game, it is important that participants know when and when not to dribble. To become a good dribbler and ball handler, you must practice dribbling as often as you can, using both hands. This DVD aims to demonstrate and give coaching points on how to form a simple dribble in basketball. The objective is to develop the knowledge of different aspects of the basketball dribble and also highlight common errors. In addition to this, the DVD will relate to theory to children acquiring dribbling in basketball. ABCs are crucial for the skill-related fitness development of children. This relates to the basketball dribble as it requires agility, balance and coordination. The skill of dribbling can then be transferred into other skills involving ABC, such as throwing and catching, due to the crossover in hand-eye coordination. Health and safety. This is arguably one of the most important factors when leading a sports session, as the health and well-being of the young participants should always come first. Before you can start any sort of activity or warm-up, it is fundamental that you do a health and safety check to ensure all the performers are safe. The health and safety points below, stated by Robertson 2014, are essential to carry out a safe and practical session. When completing a warm-up, dynamic stretches will be used as they increase the range of motions for the participant. This will also decrease the chances of the participant becoming injured. Heel flicks. Start running and as your legs come up behind you, exaggerate the motion so that your heels kick up towards your back. Try to touch your heels to your glutes as you run. This exercise aims to warm up the quadriceps. The reverse of heel flicks is high knees. This exercise aims to warm up the quadriceps, hamstrings and abdominals. Open the gate. Start running at a slow pace and lift your leg up and out to the side alternatively. This exercise aims to warm up the groin. Dynamic hamstring stretch. In between gentle jogs, stand with the leg to be stretched just in front of the other one. Bend the knee back and lean forwards from the hips, wiping the floor. This exercise aims to warm up the hamstring. Following on from this, lunges. Step forward with one leg flexing the knees to drop your hips and start walking whilst continuing this. This exercise aims to warm up your quadricep. The arm circle, forward and reverse stretch will focus on stretching biceps, triceps and deltoids. Skill-specific warm-up activities. The figure of 8 extends the warm-up with the muscle groups whilst preparing the students for the session with basic ball control. Quick footwork followed by a shot will raise the intensity, increasing the heart rate. It still focuses on basic ball control and introduces ball handling. Warm-up progression. It is important to progress the warm-up because it raises intensity and will ready the participants' skill set for their session. We have progressed the shot and footwork by adding in dribbling to focus more clearly on the objectives set. For the more able students, there is further progression where they are challenged by dribbling with their less dominant hand. Moving on to the dribble itself. Using the work of Schmidt and Lee, the basketball dribble is more on the open side of the skill classification continuum rather than the closed. This is due to the environment playing a big role, as there are different stimuli which include crowd noise, referees and the opposition. However, the dribble has a slight element of closed, as the games usually take place indoors and they do not have to worry about weather conditions. As you can see, in order to dribble you use large body movements, making it a growth skill, which is why it is crucial to warm up every muscle. However, dribbling has an element of fine skill, as you need to make small hand and wrist movements to help control the ball. The dribble is towards the continuous end of the spectrum, as it is a repetitive skill. However, dribbling has elements of serial skill, such as the sub-routines including the flick of the wrist and the hand dexterity, which helps make up the dribble. The dribble is fairly central in the pacing continuum, but is closer to self-paced, as it is still up to the player themselves to decide what they do, although there are other factors affecting the dribble, such as the opposition and teammates' movement. On to the coaching points. The dribbling skill can be taught to any age group with any skill level. Having a range of session objectives can help the pupils measure their own success rate. These can also help with the progression within the session. Firstly, the body position should be nice and low by bending the knees. This allows the participant to have a low centre of gravity, which helps maintain balance and therefore makes you more agile when dribbling. The participant should then push the ball in front of them, allowing them to run after it. The next bit of contact they have with the ball should be when it's just in front of them at waist height. In order for the participant to push the ball to the correct distance and height is by the use of their fingertips to control the ball, and then the flex in the wrist followed by an extended straight arm to generate the correct amount of force. The participant will get an intrinsic feel for the right amount of force they need to put into the ball. For young performers, it is all about the exposure of the skill, as stated by Bernstein 1967. Combining the previous two coaching points, introduce the standing dribble. An additional coaching point would be when the participant is bouncing the ball, make sure their head is raised and looking around them. Progressing the standing dribble into the walking dribble should also involve the participant's head still being raised and looking at where they're going. This allows the eyes to receive information of the stimuli, allowing the brain to process the information that's being received. Once this has been processed, the participant will have a perception of what is the best move to make. Progressing the walking dribble into the running dribble brings all of the coaching points together. It also means the participant has to speed up their movements. This will then challenge their agility, balance and coordination. Linking back to pupil objectives, be sure to challenge the pupils that are exceeding by encouraging them to use their less dominant hand whilst using the same coaching points. To progress the single-handed dribble to a crossover dribble, it is important to still keep your body position low and to push the ball low and sharply from right to left and left to right. This will make it easier to get away from the opponents in a match situation.
Common errors are expected, as Heibeck states, errors will occur as younger age learners are at a more basic learning phase. However, as Schmidt and Risberg suggest, all children are different and some will have controlled slow information processing and others will have automatic quick information processing. All children will have different capabilities. An example of this is bouncing the ball too high. When dribbling, a low body stance is crucial to ensure the ball doesn't bounce too high before reaching your hand. To correct this, reiterate the coaching points, give a demonstration, or get them to copy your demonstration, depending on whether they're a visual, audio, or kinesthetic learner. Another error you might witness is the player's dribbling may be slow and weak. As you can see, the player's slow and weak dribbling has caused him to lose control of the ball and lose momentum. The solution to this is to flex the wrist and use your fingers to push down on the ball to exert more force. When an error like this occurs, feedback is crucial, as to develop the schema, clear augmented feedback from the teacher will aid the pupil to become more competent at the skill. However, as Schmidt suggests, constant overcomplicated augmented feedback may reduce the effectiveness of learning the skill. The next common error is bouncing the ball too frequently, causing you to lose rhythm and pace. As you can see, the performer is bouncing the ball too forcefully and too frequently. Reiterate the coaching points to ensure they bounce the ball up to their waist, minimising the amount of dribbles. With more able performers, they may get intrinsic feedback, but for young, less able performers, feedback is crucial to getting the child towards their desired goal, as they can adapt and change their executive and effector stage within the closed-loop control program. Double dribbling. This is where you may bounce the ball with both hands, or you may stop with the ball before dribbling again. As you can see, the participant stops and holds the ball before dribbling again. This error can be very common with pupils of age of 5 and below, as they have very little concept of rules. To correct this, aid the pupil to remember, if they stop with the ball, they must pass or shoot. Developing a recall schema is very important in this instance, as it will give the pupil a clear idea in their head of what to do to perform the skill successfully, reducing the chances of them hesitating and stopping. Dribbling into trouble, causing the opponents to swarm around you. As you can see, the performer dribbled with no intention, causing the opponent to take the ball off of them. Reiterate to the performer to dribble with their head up, allowing them to be spatially aware. To ensure learning is transferred from a short-term memory store to a long-term memory store, a participant must rehearse and keep practicing the skill.
There are 4 main rules when it comes to dribbling in a basketball match. The first rule is you are not allowed to travel. Travelling is when taking more than 1.5 steps without dribbling while the player has possession of the ball, or when you stop dribbling and move or change your pivot foot. An example of this has been shown on the screen now. The next rule is backcourt violation. This is when the team with possession of the ball travels over the mid-court line into the front court and then crosses back into the back court. This is shown in the video clip now. The next rule of dribbling is charging. This is where the dribbler forcefully runs into a stationary defender. The example is presented on the screen now. Lastly, you are not allowed to be seen carrying. This is when the dribbler places their hands underneath the ball when dribbling. This is shown on the screen.
Match analysis with theory from Schmidt and Risberg. As you can see, the initial players had an extensive reaction time. The factors that might have affected this were the significant amount of stimuli from both his own team and opposition players. As he has failed to process the information efficiently, his movement time was slow, allowing the opposition players to swarm him and successfully disrupt his dribble. Therefore, his reaction time in this instance was too slow. However, when the opposition player got the ball, he had significantly less stimuli, making his decision process much quicker. This led to his reaction and movement time being shorter, which contributed to making his dribble more successful. Match analysis 2 with theory from Schmidt and Risberg. The player has seen there is space to run into in order to make room for the shot. By executing all of the coaching points perfectly and suddenly stopping, he is able to lose his defender, giving him time to shoot, thus demonstrating a complete and effective motor break. The defending player has witnessed the psychological refractory period, as the sudden stop of the attacking player has caused an unexpected second stimuli. With the player being tooled, the information sent from the brain to the reacting muscles to react has taken longer, making him unable to react.
The cooldown is just as important as the warm-up because abrupt ceasing of vigorous activities lead to pooling of the blood, sluggish circulation and slow removal of waste products. Decrease foot intensity progressively and finish with static stretching to reduce DOMS. The quadricep stretch. Bring and hold your leg behind you to your glutes, which will stretch out your quadricep muscle. The hamstring stretch. Bring one leg forward and have the other leg bent at the knee to support your body. Make sure your weight is not on this bent knee. This will stretch out your hamstring muscle. The groin stretch. Your leg must be in a wide stance and lean to either side, making sure you bend your knee you're leaning on. This will stretch both sides of your groin. The chest crossed arm swing. Bring one of your arms across your chest and with the other hand hold out the elbow. You will feel a pull against the back of your shoulders in your deltoids. The tricep and shoulder stretch. Bring one arm up and over your head and place it on your back. With your other hand, place it on your elbow and push towards you. This stretches your triceps in your back of your arm and the deltoids in your shoulders.
Thank you for watching, and please contact us for any queries or questions.